Good day, traders. Stacey Burke from Stacey Burke Trading, Wednesday, June 10th. Daily currency levels for the British pound crosses. Up tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m. New York Eastern Standard Time, we have core CPI. No other major news until tomorrow. We have the Fed. And Friday, the GDP for the British pound, and prelim U of Michigan consumer sentiment for the U.S. at 10 a.m. Friday morning. Big day yesterday for a few of the pairs. Pound Aussie, we've had a one-day pullback against a strong falling downtrend. Micro trend line squeezing just after that pullback yesterday. Again, if we scrunch our chart up, we see this market potentially still has room to continue its move down. However, anything's possible, and we had a fairly large pullback yesterday, pulling above the 8250 level, possibly a retest of these lows over the next few days. On our 4-hour chart, we can see the market broke above the 8250 level, breaking our micro trend line, falling trend line, and consolidating, hitting stops above last week's swing high, just above 8250. Again, currently trading sideways on a little breakout of the rectangle that formed underneath the 8250 between last week and early part of this week. Possibly the beginnings of a micro double bottom in that reversal, but again, this 4-hour chart has just ended, and again, we've consolidated after the breakout, so this 8250 level could become significant. When we look at our 15-minute chart, we can see that the market in Asia has hit yesterday's high before dropping down and pulling up. We were in a big downtrend. This market could be forming a bit of a micro double bottom possibly for a move back up towards the highs of the day. If the market was to break through these highs, stop hunting highs, it could continue its upward movement, breaking out of this rectangle. This is a 75 pip rectangle. However, if we were to see the market retest its high and break through, we could see the market testing yesterday's U.S. session lows and possibly revisiting the breakout level from yesterday's Asian session, just below the 8200 level. Currently, though, we're working the low of the day, and again, depending on how they set this up, the market could continue off the micro double bottom if it was to form that for a break through the high, or drop down, retesting the swing high, or stop hunting the highs just at the lower part of Asia for a move back down through the lows of the day as well as yesterday's U.S. session. Currently sideways at the bottom of the Asian range. Next up is our pound Canadian. Again, looking at our daily, that market, as we saw, was trading sideways at the 1.7 thousand level. Market put a pin hammer in place on Friday. Just blow that up a bit at the numbers. The market has continued to stay above that 7,000 level and painting a doji, bull doji yesterday, which again, the market, on Monday, and then yesterday that market has closed just slightly above it, and that possibly is the beginning of maybe a move up if that was to hold. So we've closed just above Monday's high at 70.65, and we're currently sitting right on top of that after an engulfment. So if the market was to break yesterday's high, we could see this upward move continuing, and we can see that a little bit clear on the 4-hour where the market just closed above in the 4-hour chart before pulling back. It broke out on a little bullpen, so we're currently sideways in this little tight consolidation. A break either way could give us some insight. As we head into the end of the Asian session, we can see that this has formed a symmetrical triangle. Possibly we are underneath a peak formation, possibly from yesterday's high. Again, if the market was to break to the downside, we could see the retest of the 7,000 level. If the market breaks to the upside, we could see a breakthrough yesterday's high, as well as a continuation into that upper 250 pip box. But again, break through the bottom of this range. We're currently inside of the Asian session range. It's possible we could be building for a squeeze for a retest of the high back from yesterday's session. But again, a break in either direction could indicate a move, a fairly good size move today. Next up is our pound Swiss. Again, this market pulled back yesterday, engulfing the inside bull candle at the top of the month after hitting the highs. We have pulled back inside of the range, but it was a fairly strong drive up. We could get a retest of that breakout today, taking out or moving towards yesterday's high, but currently we've engulfed that and sitting underneath of that peak formation candle. On our 4-hour, we can see the micro trend line break, and we've traded into the lower 250 pip box, forming a sloping M pattern, double top, micro double top underneath the 21.25 level. We've pulled down underneath after breaking the micro trend line. We could still have a retest possibly of the high, but if the market was to roll over and revisit the low, we could see that market move back through the lows of that 2000 level, retesting the breakout from last week. On our 15-minute chart, again, we can see this big move down yesterday. The market has made a push higher in Asia. However, again, we could see that double top formation form for a retest of the lows, or a squeeze breakthrough pullback to 21.25 and a retest to yesterday's highs. There's not a whole lot to stop this market from continuing its move if it does break to the upside. On the other side of that, if we were to break lower, we can see that there are stops from last week's lows on Friday, but also today's and yesterday's lows for 3 levels of rise to retest those overall lows. On our pound yen, another market that had a big move up, and then yesterday we had an engulfment underneath the peak formation candle. This market pulled back underneath the 37.50 level on the numbers, which is a significant quarter level. We had a micro trend line break on our 4-hour chart, dropping below that 37.50. A pullback and a bit of an engulfment that's possibly failing. If we retest the lows on our 4-hour chart at the 36.35 level, we could end up falling back down towards the 3,500 level at the bottom of this 250 pip box. A move back up above 37.50 could possibly see us retest the highs up towards 140. On our 15-minute chart, we can see that big move off of yesterday's low and then into the U.S. session, but we've pushed into that upward peak from the W, that little sloping W formation. If this was to become a double bottom or a V bottom peak formation reversal, we could see this market come out of consolidation and move towards yesterday's highs of Asia. So again, that's a fairly good move. There's not a lot to stop it. There's a few big gaps inside of that range. And again, if the market was to break through the high or up towards the highs and break through, we could retest that high. If we roll over and come underneath 3,700, we could retest the lows of yesterday and continue that downward move. Up next is our pound New Zealand. Again, on our daily chart, we've had a big one-day pullback. We could see a continuation for a retest of the lows. Again, when we bring our chart together, we can see there's still lots of room for this market to fall. However, we could see a short-term pullback still hold a bit of momentum and stay above that 9,500 level. But if we were to drop down, we could see a swing retest breakthrough. We could have a measured move of this bull candle pullback to the downside. Again, we can see that rectangle formation around the 9,500 level, but also possibly a bit of a head and shoulders reversal happening on our 4-hour chart. Again, we could, just depending on how it handles this 9,500 level, we could see another little retest of the breakout and a pullback for a reversal pattern possibly setting up. On our 15-minute chart, we can see that possible reverse head and shoulders starting to form. We could still see a move down to retest that right shoulder area. But again, The market's been in a big downtrend, but at some point we could possibly see this market reverse and possibly seeing the beginnings of that happening now. Again, possibly a reverse head and shoulders, just not complete or not quite fully formed, but we could be seeing the beginnings of that. If this market was to fall right through, though, obviously that pattern would become null and void. When we zoom in on our 15-minute chart, we can see that the market has dropped down in Asia and gone into consolidation. Not yet possibly a double bottom reversal back up through the highs, or just a consolidation and a fast moving pattern back down to retest the breakout lows of yesterday. We are underneath 95.25. If we break the double zeros, we could see this market probably move down fairly quickly to the 94.50, 94.25 area, as there are stops underneath all these levels to give us our possible right shoulder starting to form. Currently, though, we're in consolidation underneath of that Asian high low. And lastly, our British pound. We're watching this market still respect its rising trend line. We had a pullback on Monday and Tuesday, and we're possibly just about to break through the 92.50 level. We talked about stops being up in that upper 250 pip box, but again, no evidence yet of this market pulling back or reversing. On our 4-hour chart, we can see that brief pullback yesterday before retesting the highs, and we're squeezed inside of that 27.50 level as we head in towards the end of Asia. If we popped above 27.50, we could see this market move fairly quickly to the upside. As we scrunch our chart up a bit closer, can see that there's plenty of room for this market to move if it does move up above 27.50. On our 15-minute chart, we can see the market has pushed higher early in Asia off of a peak formation low. And we'll just slide our yesterday's stops over. You can see that that market has moved up, possibly retesting the highs of yesterday. We have rising swing lows as we head higher into the end of the Asian session and moving up towards yesterday's high. Again, if we break through the 27.50 level, we could see this market continue to trend. But if we have a peak formation reversal, we could get a bit of a micro double top formation up here for a retest of the lows of the day, back down towards yesterday's U.S. session breakout and swing lows. But if I'll just color this in again. Do the breakout first. If we break through, we could see this market continue to trend and go strongly into that upper 250 pip box. Currently, though, just about testing 27.50 up near yesterday's high. And again, we could find this market finding a 1 push, 2 push, 3 push reversal pattern for a move back down, or a breakout pullback and a continuation into that upper 250 pip box. Just closing on a bit of psychology, traders. 10 lessons in trading psychology. Know your strengths. Develop confidence, know your weaknesses, know when to take a break, become self-aware, learn to change, control your environment, deal with stress, pinpoint your emotions, develop a trading routine and a high-performance routine, challenge your ideals, push the boundaries, keep getting better. How good can we get, traders? Have a great trading session. We're going to have some very strong moves today, I believe. Trade smart, trade safely, and may the markets go with you.
Hi traders, it's Stacey Burke from Stacey Burke Trading. If you haven't done so, please head over to my website at StaceyBurkeTrading.com. I create updates on almost a daily basis, and I would love for you to receive them. Just click on the blog. If you want to enter your name and your email address, I'll send you my free audio program, the 7-Step Daily Routine for High-Performance Traders. This is essential knowledge for all traders in all markets, and this is for helping traders to master the market with discipline, confidence, and a winning mindset. I appreciate all your feedback and comments. As always, traders, stay disciplined, and may the markets go with you.